What's up, everybody? Welcome back to today's show. Happy Monday here. We have 4 people in the studio today. I'm, of course, one of them. Actually, I'm outside of the studio today. Hopefully, you guys are not looking at the camera to catch my lies. But we got Jimmy here, and then we got, I don't know who that guy is. And we got CJ over here. So that's
CJ with the CJ.
Some familiar faces to the podcast, some voices you guys have probably heard before if you've been listening to SnailTrail4x4 forever. We have Jason, of course, here from Wheeling Wine and Whiskey.
Welcome to the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey podcast, episode 987.
We'll cut that out, Jimmy.
Okay.
You got that later?
Sure.
All right, cool, thanks.
Sorry, edit that like 2 minutes.
First edit, 30 seconds in. All right, man. So welcome, guys, to the studio. It's fun to be here and to have you two specifically on the casting couch together. So
Yeah, this is. I'm glad you cleaned it before you got here. All the dog hair and stuff on it. This is good.
Mhm.
This is good.
yeah.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. You guys are here to talk about off-road training, essentially. So Jason, of course, you've been with Wheeling Wine and Whiskey forever. You've been wheeling your whole life. Most people, I think, know your story.
I think so.
38
38 years of wheeling now. That's why I'm wearing a hat to cover up the gray hair. 38 years of wheeling and been teaching for
That's
35
like half
years.
your life.
It is. It's over half my life. I'm 53 years old, about to be 54 next month. So don't forget my birthday, and I do need more whiskey.
Perfect.
But no, it's been, I got into it at a young age and love it. And with Esprit de Four, our club where I met CJ, we do that beginner off-roading class or off-roading 101, whatever you want to call it. It's an intro to four-wheeling, and it's an in-depth class. I mean, people come out of the class like, wow, this is cool. And I'd say 70% of the people want to go to the next step. Where's the next class? Where's 201? Off-roading, and that's.
Does Esprit de Four do?
No.
That's like, okay. I was like, I've only ever known about the kind of the intro class.
We've always filled up our classes day or two when it's released.
Okay.
And we used to do Saturday, Sunday class. I mean, they were separate classes.
Oh,
So
wow.
we used to have 4 classes a year, technically. Now we only have 2.
Okay.
Third weekend of May, third weekend of September.
Mhm.
But anyways, CJ started teaching class with me, and we're like, we got to do something. And so finally, just our, lives allowed ourselves to, start up the Sierra Nevada Off-Road Academy. And it's really exciting because we are taking it deep, and CJ's got deep in the weeds with the propeller hat,
Yes.
working load limits and stuff.
Yep.
And I've learned a lot in the last, year that we've been putting this stuff together. So
Nice.
anyways, always learning.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, Jason and I used to always talk about doing the Esprit de Four class, and every class we teach, we say we learned something.
Yeah.
So it's 40 years of this Esprit de Four class going. There's over 4,000 people that have been trained.
Wow. It's been that many.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, the assistant went through it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. You had some firsthand experience of seeing that happen.
Yeah.
Go down.
Yeah.
I don't think Tyler's ever been down there.
I haven't. I have yet to get out there.
Yeah.
She still tells the story about where you guys have you put the little 4x4s, cut off 4x4s down, and you have them try to drive over them with different tires. Hit this one with your driver front, hit this one with your driver your passenger front, hit this, rear tire, then rear tire. And she looked at me, and this was the last one of the day, right? And she looked at me, she's like, every one of those I hit, I get to have a drink.
Yeah, about it.
Yeah, she hit every fucking one.
Yeah, she did.
She earned it.
Yeah,
That's
she
good.
earned it, and I was like, "Sure, if that's your motivation, good. I want you to learn tire placement."
Yeah, and that's, as you guys know, very important, tire placement. And driver side's easy to see. Passenger front is not easy to see.
Right.
Passenger rear, you could turn your passenger mirror down, but we have, and it's funny to watch that for all the years I've been teaching that class at Hollister, how it's evolved. And I mean, there's some years I shake my head that I don't know how we're going to do this with, not everybody showed up.
Okay.
Our volunteers.
The volunteers not showing up. Okay.
But it comes off seamlessly every year.
Huh.
Yeah.
But behind the scenes, it's like chaos.
Yeah.
Like stuff going on. I'm like, okay. And then nope, it works out. But we have moved that tire placement. Everybody does it right out of the gate now. We have
Smart.
4 tire placements in the Hollister area. So everybody does that before they go out and do anything else, which is imperative. And that's been a cool improvement over the years. Anyways.
I think that's really smart because then before you even go out into the area, you kind of have an understanding of your vehicle and how it maneuvers and where everything is.
Yeah, I mean, there's 40 students going through that class in one day.
Yeah,
and it takes 40 volunteers to really make it.
Yeah,
sure, wow. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's been cool. Hollister's been great venue. They're great to work with. It's I've always said the diamond in our state park system in California. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the trail rides and everything. I mean, it's a full day. It's an 8-hour day, and but it's still rewarding to me after all these years to watch these people so nervous in class. They don't want to screw up their vehicle. They don't, want to be that guy out on the trail or gal. And at the end, you see them settle in once they go over the first couple obstacles. Mm-hmm. They climb the stair steps and they're like, hell yeah. And then at the end of the day, they're ready to lift their rig and go out and do the Rubicon. So in their mind. Yeah. But yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. The excitement level.
Let's, can we take a step back just a little bit and learn a little bit more about CJ?
Yeah.
Because everybody knows who you are.
Not everybody knows me.
Most people know who you are. Not a lot of people know CJ and a little bit of your backstory and like where you grew up. How'd you get into wheeling? Just some of the basics and what brought you here today.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's go back in time, I guess.
Yeah. They do that on there, so I had to do it.
Wow. I got control of the soundboard down here. I don't know which one does what though.
Just hit random buttons.
I'll turn that one up for you, and you can do that. And if we, have you ever even used the soundboard?
I have. Yeah. There it is. Where's the one that says Toyota suck on it?
Oh, I think
I don't see it.
CJ's here, everybody. CJ is here.
That was the Toyota sucks part.
All right. Yeah. Back to CJ.
There's also there's multiple levels to this if you want to. Yeah. So yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you're going to be using this one a lot.
The more you know.
I like that.
That's a good one. We do have that one.
Yeah. So I was lucky enough to have parents that had a cabin in the Sierras up near Dorrington, near Arnold. So I grew up going off-roading. Now, off-roading meant taking the family 4x4 van.
Okay.
Get a Toyota 4x4
the Previa?
van.
Nice.
No, pre-Previa, the
really?
little boxy one. That was in 1989. You sit on top of the engine.
Yeah.
Really cool.
With the straight like
front nose.
spaceship nose.
Yep. So that was my first 4x4. No, actually, I'm lying.
Did it have the bucket seats in the back that could turn around?
No,
the front seats turned around.
No. Now we're all on. So that was the first memory I have of four-wheeling was in that van. We got it up on 3 tires a couple times. But before that, I had a 1983 Blazer S10.
Oh.
It wasn't my car, but it was my car.
Sure.
Okay.
I just was 4 years old.
Right.
So over the years, though, sat in Dad's lap, turned the steering wheel. Got exposed to wheeling on the snowy roads, the fire roads, and stuff. And just like any young kid, dreams of having a Jeep someday.
Nah,
it's not.
No, they don't. They don't ever dream about
I'm not sure if that's every young kid, but yeah.
So, like any good son, I convinced my dad to let me buy a Jeep in high school.
Mm-hmm.
He refused to let me until I got accepted to college.
Okay.
So once I got accepted to college, I dangled that in his face, and we went out and got a 1978 CJ5.
Cool.
Okay.
And why I wanted to get into that is I had been following the magazines. I'd go to the grocery store with my mom and see Four-Wheeler Magazine, JP Magazine, etc.
Were you guys old enough to look at magazines?
I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah. That was the big thing when the new magazine came out and you go to the grocery store and pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Top Truck Challenge.
Yeah.
Right. Right there in our backyard at Hollister.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that just kind of shaped my interest, and I just got further and further into it. And then I even did a high school senior video project about a personal tapestry of who I am. And I found footage of me as a little baby with a little toy. And I picked up the sand, put it on the deck.
Oh, really?
So the toy could drive through the dirt. And I was like, okay, I've been wanting to drive in the dirt since
For a
I was
while.
literally 3 years old.
Yeah.
And then I got a go-kart of me driving my go-kart, gravity-fed go-kart. And the first thing I did was steer off the road into the dirt to keep going in the dirt. So something has been in me since childhood to drive through the dirt.
Right.
So that's a little bit of the background there.
Yeah.
That Jeep led to another Jeep that led to another Jeep. And then got rid of that Jeep and went back to the second Jeep.
Okay.
Is that what we have today?
That is, I have a 1981 CJ7,
Mm-hmm.
and that is what I've had now 20 years. I got it my freshman year of college.
Okay.
When did you get Bobcat?
Freshman year, huh?
I got Bobcat in like 2004.
So is that freshman year of college? When?
No, I was just graduating college.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So.
This might be 22 years. Yeah,
Wow.
22
When was
years
your
ago,
first 4x4 rig?
My first 4x4 was my first vehicle, actually. It was a 1998 Ford Ranger that had the shitty 4x4 vacuum,
Ranger.
the vacuum actuated 4x4 that did not hold 4x4 ever.
No.
So
I guess that's to be fair. My first 4x4, my first car was a 1998 Dodge Durango
okay.
with the 5.9.
I remember that. You come into the meetings with that.
Slip, and I had 32-inch tires on. I did a torsion bar lift, and I did some black diamonds at Hollister in that rig.
Nice.
And the parents were like, you need to get a Jeep.
So I don't know if my first Jeep story, well, my only Jeep that I bought story ever got told, but I bought it when I was a senior in high school. It was 1990. And I saw it, this was back when you looked in the classifieds in the paper.
Mm-hmm.
So these little tiny, blurbs, and it was, 74 CJ5, blah, 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 whatever.
The acronyms, right?
Short hashtags and all that stuff.
You had to
No,
pay
none
by
of that.
letter.
Yeah.
It was tiny. Yeah, it was abbreviated because it was in this tiny little box.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I don't remember the whole details. All I remember is buying it from this kid, and he cried when I drove away.
Aw.
You're a heartbreaker.
I know. It was at this apartment complex over in Saratoga, and I drove it away, and it was an absolute piece of shit. It was brown. It was root beer brown was the technical, I think, but it was a metallic shit brown is what I called it. And it had a brown AstroTurf grass in the floorboard.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was bad. It had a
just stereotypical Jeep
straight six, 300 or no, 258 straight six with a 3-speed. The T13 or T13, T14 were the 2 3-speeds. Absolute crap. I took it out a couple runs at Hollister, and one of the second, third run, I was halfway up 5 fingers, and the transmission, actually a snap ring broke. All the gears shifted and it locked up. And I literally had to drag it down a steep hill. I kicked the transfer case into neutral so I could get back down. Anyways, then the whole remodel started. But yeah, I got it in 1990, and I still have that Jeep. Been through 5 remodels since then.
So
5 fingers is the only hill I've never made it up.
Really?
At Hollister. Yeah. And
It's usually closed.
That's why.
But it's open. It's been open a lot now.
it has been open.
Okay.
Yeah. So I met Jason at Hollister before we ever officially met.
Oh.
I was out there in my CJ5. It was a yellow CJ5 on 32s. And just kind of getting a feel for the Jeep and learning a little bit. And I saw this primer gray CJ5 on 33s.
Whoa.
And it was doing the mini Rubicon.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, there's some suspension stuff there. Like, I want to meet that guy.
Yeah.
That guy's got a Jeep just like me, but it's doing the mini Rubicon. Man, someday I'll hopefully meet that guy. Now I'm sitting on a couch.
And here we are.
Yeah. Now you're business partners.
Now we're business partners.
What was I thinking?
More bad decisions off road.
Nice. Okay, so you guys have both been wheeling a very long time. Very intimate with vehicles, vehicle knowledge, your motorheads, your gearheads. So how did that evolve from this Esprit de Four and combining what you guys have been doing all these years at Esprit de Four, your experience wheeling, your love for going out and playing with vehicles, to Sierra Nevada Off-Road Academy? Like how does this all get connected now and bring us to Sierra Nevada Off-Road Academy?
Yeah, good question.
I alluded to it earlier. It's people taking the Esprit de Four basic class and wanting to learn more. 70% of, and I think that's a low number, but it's not scientific, but it's just my guess, is that these people would come up to us and go, we want to learn more.
Yeah. What's next?
What's next?
How do I use a winch?
Do you do a winching class?
Okay.
Do you guys teach people to prepare for the Rubicon, and rock crawling and stuff? And no, we don't. And we talked about it in the club extensively. I mean, we actually did plans. We were going to do it. And then, came to our senses and said, no, let's just do what we do well. And that's beginning, with all our volunteers. It's all volunteers. Nobody's paid, right? And then so that's where CJ and I joked around. It always starts with that, like, hey, we're going to start a podcast, and then a podcast gets started. Around a campfire. But
at
it's
Barrett
like,
Lake.
yeah, Barrett Lake, and so it's like, hey, we should do an advanced class and this stuff, and then we were both deep in our careers, and then things changed when I moved to Nevada and like trying not to work as much as I used to, and then he changed up his lifestyle and said, hey, what do you think? Should we start this up? And I go, absolutely. And I've been fortunate in my career choices and stuff I've done. It's always been fun. Yeah. And
it's always been stuff you've been interested in.
Stuff I've been interested in. They say don't make your hobby your work or your passion your work. But I think it's the opposite. You better be passionate about what you do, because you're doing it a lot. Yeah. To survive, to put bread on the table, so to speak. So I've always gravitated towards stuff I enjoy doing, because I want to wake up and do what I want to do, and not be like, oh my God, I got to go I got to go work on these Toyotas at this Toyota shop or something, It's like the bane of my existence. So, anyways, yeah. So that's how it kind of came about. We said, let's do this.
Yeah. I was done with corporate America. I had 15 years working in tech. Really, really cool stuff. Passionate about it. Some people might know I was a film major. So loves telling stories, love video encoding, love all the problems of scaling video on the internet. And we did a lot of nerdy, cool stuff for a long time. And I got further and further away from why I got hired. And I kept getting pushed into corners I didn't care as much about. Really cool, compelling corners like the lead up to AI and edge computing, nerdy stuff that would be very lucrative if I had stayed in that career. Yeah. I can't wake up for it in the morning. Yeah. I'm like, Jason, I got to be passionate about what I do. I will work 120% if I'm passionate about it. And I could just tell I was phoning it in. And I had a life-changing accident, and that kind of just put some perspective. I laid there in the hospital bed and said, I'm never working another day here ever. Wow. And I hung around for another year and a half to get the insurance and to help my team. I was a manager, and I wanted to get my team placed elsewhere in the company. And then April 1st, 2 years ago, I quit. Yeah. So we're celebrating 2 years tomorrow as of this recording.
Oh yeah. Geez. Yeah. 2 years.
Nice.
So April 1st joke. See you later. And 3 days after, best decision I ever made. Everything left, all the stress left my body. And I was like, what was I doing delaying this? I was so afraid. Mortgages, responsibilities, adulthood, all this stuff. Yeah. You'll figure it out. Yeah. Just do it. Yeah. So I quit. Called Jason up, said, hey man, we got a ticking clock. We got to get this thing on. We got to get this thing started.
Well, yeah. And when you were recovering, and I remember talking, I came and visited you a few times at your house, and, you could barely get out of bed and stuff sometimes. And it's like, you're like, we got to do something. We got to do something to teach people, and so that was kind of the spur of it, or like, and then you were like really adamant when you were recovered.
I don't know if, we've talked a little bit about your accident on the show. I know when it first happened, we kind of mentioned what happened. Do you want to tell people from your perspective, just a highlight of what happened? Because I think that's a really big context for getting into off-road safety training. Yeah, right.
Fair enough. So I'll be vulnerable for a second, and I'll share two little stories. Okay. One is that, about 4 years ago, this June, 4 years ago, I got crushed between two Jeeps off-road. Yep. We're volunteering for Adopt a Trail.
Literally crushed.
Literally crushed between two Jeeps. These are not the kind of Jeeps that have plastic bumpers that are made in the 2020s. These are the kind of older Jeeps that have steel.
There's no crush crumple zones.
There's no crumple zones.
I was the crumple zone. Yeah. So someone started their Jeep in gear and wasn't in the vehicle and control of the vehicle when they started it in gear. And it went right over a Morphlate compressor. So those things are built like tanks. Yep. And
nice plug.
Yeah. And then I got basically crushed between the Jeep and the other Jeep horizontally, sideways, right in my pelvis region. And long story short, helicopter ride, 3.5 months in bed, literally learning how to walk again with a broken pelvis and broken sacrum. Got a new lease on life. Yeah. And, hey, I'm not going to run away from this hobby. I'm going to double down. Yeah. And I said, I want to make sure no one ever starts their Jeep in gear again. Yep. Back up 18 years prior to that accident, I was the guy that turned the key, not in the vehicle, and it started in gear, and I broke my buddy's femur.
Wow.
So full circle,
kind of
karma. I don't know what you want to call it. I hope not karma. I'm a good dude, but accidents happen at any point, and this is at the end of the day, airing up at the trailhead.
You're done with the trip.
This is the least dangerous part of the entire day. We were using chainsaws and winches and pulling trees across trails. Just a freak.
It's when you let your guard down, and we talk about it all the time. This is a super risky hobby to be in. We're dealing with thousands of pounds of vehicles and equipment and working loads on recovery systems that, if something goes wrong, it goes wrong very quickly and very dramatically. And so we're always harping, you got to keep your head on a swivel. You got to be aware of everything going on you at all times when we're out doing this. And that's just one of the things you guys get to now teach and implore on people now.
Yeah. And it expanding on that is we're out in remote areas. We're not around the corner, on 5th Street, where the hospital's 4 blocks away. We're out in the middle of the wilderness, and it might be an hour before any helicopter can come to you, if not longer.
It was 3 hours to get to the ER.
And that whole story is crazy. And it was like, and we, had planned, you don't plan for it, but I mean, you were prepared, right? I wasn't there. I was back at camp, but we had a satellite phone in the club at the time. Well, satellite phone was back at camp. It didn't go out on the trail.
But I had done all my ham radio research. I had APRS text messaging set up. I had tested it the day before, confirmed the new repeater was up, had talked to some of the local folks on the Highway 4 pass. I mean, I had done everything I needed to do to be able to text message updates. The accident happened. I was in the shadow of the mountain, couldn't get a ping.
No. Wow.
And I laying there with a broken pelvis, barking orders to hand me my iPad. I think I can do this. And I'm trying to get it to work. Nothing was working.
Wow.
And then our one of our helpers went the wrong way up the hill. I was only 1.5 miles from a fire station.
But they went the other way.
But they went the other way to get cell reception. And so just little things like, hey, where's the closest hospital? Where's the closest first responder? What does that look like? And then now with Starlink and now with all the new phones that can do satellite comms, really, there's no excuse not to be able to have within 2 minutes comms to something to get help.
Yeah. And one of the big things that we talk about, because off-roading is risky, no matter what you're doing and as safe as you want to be, is mitigating risk. And that's the whole thing. We're doing a risky thing. And it's like, how do we mitigate risk? So you mitigate risk with knowledge. And, there's a lot of stuff that we talk about, and, we've all done, various levels of it, but haven't really kind of put the whole package together. And that's the thing that CJ has helped out with, and saying, look, these are the things that let's spend 5 minutes before we go out on a trail ride. Even if it's on a trail that we've been on 100 times, the Rubicon Trail. Let's talk about, I don't know if Jimmy has an allergy, if he gets stung by a bee or something, and an EpiPen or something, stuff like that. So it's interesting.
One of the classes we teach is a trail leader workshop.
Yeah. Okay. Smart.
And so it's not just beginner skills of wheeling, intermediate skills of wheeling. It's like, hey, I'm an intermediate skilled wheeler. Now I'm leading groups of people. What does it look like to lead a group of people?
Yeah.
Do I have a liability waiver? Do I need a liability waiver? Am I with an organization that requires a liability waiver? Do I do a driver's meeting? It's not just the radio frequency. Let's go. Who's got first aid skills? Who's a resource I can go to? So every trail group
emergency contact.
Yeah, emergency contact for each person. Someone should identify in each group, is there a first responder in the group? Who's our medical point person? Who's the trail leader's point person? Who's the recovery point person?
Yeah.
Ideally, those aren't the same person.
Yeah.
But you better believe every trail leader is all three things usually on the trail.
Yep.
So it's just being a little more intentional about stuff. And so we do a whole class just on how to be a trail leader. And that's something that came about because of the other communities I wheel with for something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know you guys do a bunch of wheeling and you guys enjoy the outside. So do you really get the knowledge or get the ideas for classes by just being out there in the community and listening to what people are talking about on the trail and be like, we can build a class around that? Or is it, or I guess it's just experience at that level, of like, what do we really do feel that needs to get done? Yeah.
And it's been cool because the classes that we've done, and we get a little background from the individuals, but, it's like we meet them and we've done video chats prior to the class, to find out what they're looking for. What do you want to get out of this class? You know?
Yeah, sure.
And it helps us. So we hit the ground running with them and go, okay. And then we adjust during the day. We have a kind of a plan in place, if you will. But it's fluid. Okay. And as people are learning stuff, I mean, like this last class we did at Hollister, for example, it was a beginning off-roading class. Mm-hmm. I shit you not. These people excelled and listened so well. We were rock crawling by the end of the day. You don't rock crawl in a beginning off-road class.
They were spotting each other.
They were spotting each other through rocks. Now, granted, the rocks weren't huge, but I took them on this one section that, was obviously to us is like, okay. But, and that's the other hard thing, reminds me of teaching four-wheeling all these years. Stuff that's nothing to us anymore is like huge to the person. You got to put yourself in those shoes and like, I got this new vehicle. I don't know how it works. I'm nervous as hell. So that's always a check for me. I'm always in the back of my mind going, Jason, this is their first time, first time. So they're going over this and they do great. And then one guy goes, can we go up this over here? And I'm like, heck yeah, we can. You guys are doing great. And then a couple people did like stuff that I would never put people on the first day. But you pivot and you're like, yeah, we're learning good here. Or, sometimes you got to throttle back and go, okay, they're not retaining, and it's, we don't want to hurt them or their vehicle or anything, but it's cool to see people pick stuff up right away. And that light bulb, that proverbial light bulb comes on and they're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That's a lot of the benefit to going out and wheeling and learning from people who have a ton of experience out there, right? We've harped in the past about wheeling and finding off-road clubs to go wheeling with, right? As if you're a beginner and you're looking to get out there and start, what can these vehicles do? What's the capability of my equipment and my gear? Finding an off-road club, finding trainers that run classes that have the experience that can help guide you through that. All the gear is super capable. It really comes down to user knowledge and how do you impart knowledge or absorb that knowledge is one thing. Are you a fast learner, slow learner? But having training classes. I pointed at you fast learning. Fast learning, slowly. Sure, so that's because you're the actual what was it, the wheeler? I'm the co-wheeler.
Yeah. But Tyler, I think you nailed it. And that's kind of the story. I've seen the evolution, and any of us who've been in Jeep clubs or off-road clubs for a while, they're not a dying breed, but they're kind of rarer and rarer these days.
You see,
because we have Facebook groups and we have Instagram meetups and I'm like, you know what? Like, someone took me under their wing when I joined Esprit de Four and took me on their first Rubicon trip and even towed my Jeep there in case I broke. Like, people older than me took me under their wing. I don't see that mentorship happening on a Facebook group that meets up for a trail.
We want to do a whole Instagram groups versus off-road club episode.
That'd be great.
And I think that's a step where you're used to learn by joining a community, and you learned a little hard way, and it wasn't as intentional. There wasn't a curriculum, but at least you learned through osmosis.
Yeah.
And nowadays, people are hopping on these organized trail runs that are beautifully laid out, 50, 60, 100 vehicles, all the jamboree runs, et cetera.
Yep.
And they just follow the leader.
Yep.
They don't actually learn any of the wheeling
Moab's
skills.
going on right now.
Yeah, he's Jeep Safari's going on.
Just follow the car tracks in front of you, and you don't actually learn how to drive your own vehicle.
No. And if anything happens, typically it's a lot of the blind leading the blind in Facebook group trail runs, meetups, etc. Whereas if you get involved with a club, you typically have people that are way more vested interest. And then beyond that, you get into training classes that are people that are very vestedly interested in your succeeding and having success out on the trail and learning. And that's the whole point of training classes like this. So, that's always been something, like Jimmy said, we've wanted to go over and do Facebook groups versus clubs, off-road clubs, but there's a whole nother level to it in training organizations, training companies like you guys.
I've seen it. Oh my God. I want to say a million times, but realistically over 1,000 times, I've seen people, buy whatever rig, put all the aftermarket stuff, and they go out and wheel and they think they're going to be great, but they don't have the skills, right? They didn't learn how to wheel in an, open diff rig and stick shift or whatever it may have been. their first wheeling rig. Their first wheeling rig's this $100,000 Jeep that's, maybe even has portals on it, and
nowadays,
just crazy, right? And it looks cool, the mall crawlers, so to speak, and they're super capable, but the driver's not. And it's fun getting people like that go, hey, and they realize I need to learn how to wheel, and getting them out there and showing them stuff. Yeah, Stevie Wonder could drive your rig, just point and shoot. But why are you going on that line, or what's the safer line to go on? How is my rig going to react when I drive up this, 4-foot boulder? How does the suspension work, and everything? And I always love to go back to mechanical sympathy.
I was just about to say mechanical sympathy. I love that.
People that don't work on rigs, or, I get it. And it's not a diss on anybody. Everybody comes from all these different walks of life. But if you're not a mechanical person, and you've got the means to buy this cool rig, but you don't know what the sounds are and stuff. And conversely, I mean, some of the minor sounds of just a skid plate getting, going over a rock sounds terrible to somebody that's never been off road. Oh my God, what did I do to my rig? Nothing. It's fine. Keep coming forward. Or the drive shaft's getting ready to leave the chat, and they're still on the throttle. So, mechanical sympathy is just one of those things. And I wish I didn't have as much as I did, because there's some stuff that I'm just like cringing going over, knowing the stresses. It's usually at Sand Hollow. But yeah, it's cool to get to impart that knowledge and watch them pick up on it, and then see their skills improve throughout the day. And it's all seat time. It's all seat time. But in that short, time during the day, those hours, you watch them progress hour to hour to hour. And that's what's super cool and rewarding as a instructor, and doing something that I love. It's cool to watch that unfold in front of you, so to speak,
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we have a little wrap up and talk about, what was your highlight of the day? And it's so fun to hear that, what they learned and how excited they are about going off-roading again.
Yeah.
It's the aha moment, right?
Yeah.
It's the light bulb that Jason talked about earlier. And as a teacher, an instructor, you love watching your student have that aha moment where they break through the next layer of learning, and they fall in love with the hobby that we dedicate our lives to.
Yeah.
Right? And that's addicting. Yeah, it's fun. And at the end of the day, when we put out some cheese and crackers or something, and we're chatting about the day, like, it's nice to hear those stories.
Yeah, we do it up on the food side too. You don't go hungry at our class. If it's an overnight deal, you're not going to go thirsty around the campfire. I came from, a hospitality industry, and it's always a nice touch, and just to make people feel calm in the morning, a cup of coffee, a home-baked muffin, just to get the day started and kind of break the ice a little bit. Like, hey, what's your experience? What are you doing? What do you want to get out of today? And blah, blah, blah. And it really helps. It goes a long ways just to add to the whole, like CJ says, it's a high touch, experience. And
it sounds like it's very highly personalized too.
It is.
I haven't gotten the opportunity to attend a lot of quote unquote off-road training classes before from different companies, different places, but it sounds like you guys put a lot more personal touch into the classes than what I've ever heard of before in off-road training classes.
I'm a nerd. We all know that. The propeller hat was mentioned earlier. And I did a lot of competitive analysis and said, hey, how do I want to approach this business? And a couple of things stood out. One is a lot of these businesses are taught by folks that are ex-military or ex. They're just in a uniform of some kind.
Okay.
They're not approachable. They maybe are intimidating to certain demographics of people. First and foremost, I was like, okay, so they're going to teach it a little bit more like a structured thing, and it's going to be a little bit more rigid. We want to be a little more flexible, a little more nimble. Second was, hey, we want to offer a premium service. That means a premium experience before the class, during the class, and after the class.
Yeah.
So onboarding all these classes, you got to make a phone call and check in somewhere. Like, well, anyone who's 35 and under likes to go on an internet on the internet, click a button and sign up for something and know what they're signing up for, get an email that validates that and some confirmation. So we've kind of streamlined the whole onboarding process where you fill out a little questionnaire, you get the waivers already submitted, like everything's just handled all on your laptop or your phone. before you ever show up. We do a pre-meeting so we can talk about what you want to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Zoom meeting.
Yep. And then
is that like the whole class shows up on the Zoom meeting, or is it like a one-on-one with the instructor kind of thing?
It depends. Mm-hmm. So we offer one-on-one private classes, and they'll be one-on-one. Sometimes someone's a little more anxious. They want to get on. Other people don't always make it, or they've been other classes. But we'll try to do a group Zoom.
Okay.
And then, as Jason said, the class is pretty flexible. We have curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
It's all modular. So we pick a hole from what we want to make that happen. And then after the fact, we do a shared photo album. People become friends that day. We get a group chat going. We've got an online community that we're fostering that's on Halo. Halo is a platform, HEYLO. And a lot of car clubs are moving to it. And
you guys heard of it?
Yeah. I want to talk to you guys about your Discord server and a possible
It's pretty
option.
cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we just set up the whole Discord thing. We were going to announce it, I think, last Thursday's episode. So, but yeah, I'm interested. I'm always interested to hear about community.
Yeah,
it's just an opportunity to have a chat, forums, events. You can publish. You can even do paid trips. Geek on it, but. We want to foster a relationship with our customers. It's not a transactional thing like you went river rafting and then you never see that person again. We want to be, hey, like you took a beginner class, you might be interested in the intermediate or a trail run we're going to host or a meetup, just like you guys do with your podcast communities. And so we really just try to be intentional from the beginning and notice a lot of the other folks in the industry, which there's not many, frankly.
There's not that many.
I believe we all rise with the tide. We're all trying to level up the community and the industry as a whole, but there's a space here to do something a little different, a little special. So we're trying to keep it high touch and high value.
Yeah. And it hasn't been said yet, but I want to make it clear. We are not the experts, of off-roading. We have a lot of experience. We've got some great training, but every time I've taught the Esprit de 4 class, it's one of the first things I say, we're going to learn today with you guys. And we do, because back when I started teaching class, there was not electric vehicles. There was not electric lockers. There was
parking brakes.
There was not electric parking brakes. All this technology. So we've evolved with technology teaching the class. Air conditioning.
You didn't even have air conditioning.
How was air conditioning in a Jeep? Oh my God. Power steering? What?
Back then, they probably just went to square headlights for you too, right?
That was the one change that I really didn't like in the Jeep.
Did Chris just show up?
Yeah, right. But no, so it is, you evolve with that, right? And then so CJ being heavily involved in the EV world, that was just like mind blown for me, and learning these vehicles and what they can do. And of course I had my, biased opinions when I first, saw these things, and I'm like, that thing ain't gonna do any good off road or freaking electric. You got to have, there's no, combustion engine, you gotta have
the vroom vroom noises.
No replacement for displacement, man. You gotta have big V8 in your rig, and just gotta hear it coming from 2 miles away on the trail. But it is amazing, and it's been cool to see what the new technology can do and how it's evolving. And it's evolving very. I mean, just our last trip, with the Rivian, CJ's like, "Oh, just got an update. I'm going to see how this wheels today." So
it's different.
It's wild.
Every month there might be a new update, and some of the drive modes get updates. And so now rock crawl mode goes faster, and you can use it between trails, not just on the trail.
Okay.
And the suspension might be softer, or handle body roll differently, or the traction control kicks in sooner.
Wow.
It's unbelievable.
It is wild.
And it's on the fly.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like over the air. You got your app on your phone, and it connects to your car, and you download the software immediately. And it's
when
not
you
like
pulled your car in the garage that night, it just downloaded, the new software. And it's like, my truck does that to update the FM stereo or something in it, the satellite radio, I guess. But it's mind blowing, because what we're used to doing is getting out, wrenches and changing something, making our own adjustments. They're literally doing it on the dash on this touch screen, and it's pretty cool technology.
So the latest quad motor Rivian has rad tuner.
Okay.
And it allows you to go into the drive modes that we've all had. So there's lots of different drive modes. No different than a Bronco or Toyota these days, right? With hill descent control and sand
all
mode versus Baja mode, et cetera.
Yep.
Those all do something. We just don't know what they do.
Yep.
So Rivian Rivian heard that and said, hey, I'm going to put a mode up here that allows me to dial in the front rear bias.
Okay.
Dial in the suspension firmness. Dial in the suspension roll firmness. So because it's a hydraulic sway bar. There's not a physical sway bar. There's about 8 or 10 different categories.
Variables that you can change.
You can just make your own mode.
Yeah. That's what I thought was really neat. I don't want to say neat. It was neat to figure out when I had the Bronco, because you had all the goat modes on it. And I was like, what the hell are they doing with these goat modes? And it's literally just taking the different off-road variables that a vehicle has: lockers, sway bars, traction control,
remap the gas pedal,
gas pedal. Yeah, absolutely. All these different variables. And it just sets every variable at a different thing for the different mode. And that was really cool, getting to ride around with the Rivians out at Johnson Valley this year, KOH, was getting to learn about how Rivian has all that set up and launching the rad controls. So
yeah. Sorry, I know you guys got to ride.
Yeah,
it was cool.
Totally geek out on that stuff, and that's a whole nother podcast that you should do with CJ, because he's got a ton of knowledge about that. It is crazy. It's the future, you know. Yeah. And like it or love it or you hate it, whatever. But it does have its limitations, and I've witnessed it. But what's cool is our adopted trail, was it 3 years ago?
4 years ago. Almost.
4 years ago, coming up this June. It'll be 4 years ago when a few Rivians joined us on our adopted trail. You know, and we actually had one pull a big ass log, you know, out of the way and stuff. And I'm like, well, yeah, because we know it's got a lot of torque and horsepower, right?
And it's heavy.
And it's heavy. And the battery's down low. I mean, there's a lot of on paper, you look at this thing, you're like, this is the ideal off-roader, you know? But it was, so from 4 years ago when I first watched it off-road, and it struggled up a hill climb, and it was digging, you know, unnecessarily on one of our hill climbs because it was loose, and it's like this tire started spinning. So it said, okay, no, put tire power to this tire that's not spinning and stuff. It's so much better now. Yeah. You know, so much better. Is it there yet? I don't think it's there yet to, like, you know, we're going to freaking, this is the go-to vehicle, but it's getting there.
I think all of the ideas and ideology behind electronic sensors and motors and everything like that, I think that idea is there. It just needs stronger parts to be able to handle the GVWs of the vehicles in rock crawling and more extreme situations.
Yeah.
I think for 90%, 95% of off-roading that occurs out there with the general public, electric vehicles are there. But I think for that other 5% of getting a little extreme, doing more rock crawling with them, etc., they just need a little bit stronger components.
But
no different than any other stock
vehicle. Exactly.
Frankly, right?
Exactly.
We have more upgrade opportunities with our Toyota and Broncos and Jeeps, but 100%. They have been fun to play with. I think the important thing is we're focused on that in addition to the rest of the industry. We're EV literate in our instruction, and people who have these vehicles want to take classes that are just EV specific.
There's a lot to those cars. You got to know what you're getting into.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we've offered that. In addition, I've had the opportunity to also be in non-Rivian EVs and continuing to focus on that. And Jason talked about training, and I do too. Like, I'm taking another training class this coming week.
Wow.
We don't know everything, and we prove that by attending other classes and continuing to learn more. And so just trying to take that adoption as knowledge is power on the trail, and let's just make a business around that.
Yeah. And it's, you know, you impart the knowledge you have, you know, the safety factor, and again, mitigating risk. It's like, let's mitigate risk. And so we teach this off-road recovery class, and it's like, okay, you know, kinetic ropes use them for everything. Are new. I mean, they're really new in my world. But they've been around for 10 years or whatever. But people go, okay, I get the concept. It's like a rubber band. Yeah. And, you know, we're going to tow this vehicle. But people don't know that after 3 pulls with a kinetic rope, it's a tow strap at that point. It needs to relax. Yep. And you tell that to people, and they're like, what? It's elasticity. I didn't know that was there. Think about a rubber band. So there's a lot of things that we've done as veteran off-roaders, and we just use it because it's there. Oh, that D-ring, we got soft shackles now. Okay, that's cool. Let's start using that. Well, there's a proper way to rig a soft shackle, you know? And yeah, I understand, you know, the loop goes over the knot and stuff, but how is it supposed to be? How is it rated?
Yep.
You know? So you get a lot of people that have been off-roading for a while, and we tell them something and they're like, oh crap, we've been doing it wrong all these years. Fine. It's worked. I've done some sketchy shit. I've done some sketchy recoveries, and I'm here to tell about it. And I got all my limbs and fingers and toes, but there's stuff that could have gone seriously wrong.
For sure.
And so mitigating those risks, knowing what your recovery, you know, it's fun. We do a thing. I know CJ wants to talk here in a second, but one thing I want to share is that people, they bring out their recovery gear. You know, what do you got? Bring your stuff. We encourage it. You know, a lot of it's okay. Yeah. You got some Factor 55 stuff. You got a legit Freedom rope, whatever. And then there's a lot of Amazon stuff that pops out.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And I'll let CJ take it from there.
Well, we won't name any names at all, but it's been fun to take it a little more intentionally.
Yeah.
And learn more about the recovery. I took a recovery course about 1.5 years ago, and it just humbled me.
And
I do
isn't
enough.
it amazing how much you don't know what you don't know?
Mm-hmm.
And once you start learning what you don't know, you're like, oh my God, I should be dead right now from all these years and shit that I've done.
We've all got the stories.
Oh, yeah.
And we're here to tell them, thankfully.
Yeah.
You know, I've watched years ago, I watched a screw pin bow shackle is the technical term, D-ring, fly through the back of a tailgate on a Blazer, through the back of that hub bed of that Blazer, because it's an older square body, through the back bench seat.
Oh, geez.
Bounce off the headrest of the driver.
Wow.
So he was close to having it go through his head. And now I know why that happens, you know, and I think that's part of the risk. But yeah, a lot of the gear you buy will say maximum braking strength.
Yep.
That's great. I would like maximum.
What's
I don't want to know the maximum strength it broke.
bad.
I want to know the minimum it broke at.
Yeah.
So we learn about MBS, MTS, average, how each company's rating stuff. And guess what? None of it actually is kind of decided upon, especially in the off-road recovery world. Very few products are purpose built for off-road recovery. We're borrowing from other industries like overhead lift and
rigging,
and industrial and rigging. So we teach a little bit about that. We learn about that, safety factors and
working load limits.
Working load limit is based on your MBS usually, some sort of safety factor. So your working load limit might be 7,000 pounds for your 7/8 kinetic rope.
Yep.
The vehicle I'm pulling out is more than 7,000 pounds. I put 5 miles an hour into that rope, which is really slow, by the way.
Yeah.
It's 150% of that vehicle's weight.
Yep. I'm
over the working load limit at 5 miles an hour.
Wow.
How many of us have seen someone pull out at 15 or 20 miles an hour?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
They're lucky to be alive.
Oh yeah. Pismo Sandans. Yeah.
So, and myself, I've done it too. I'm guilty of it. So we just, you know, it is all about risk mitigation. Some of the things I've up leveled on recently is like having a tether to my rigging. So if something does fail, where is my weak point?
Interesting.
Let me do a second attachment so that it doesn't go flying.
Yeah.
And so just up leveling and thinking more critically about recovery. So, you know, if you're interested in recovery, hit us up. We'd love to nerd out with you. It's something that I think all of us who spend time on the trail can.
Yeah. And so like we adjusted, one of our first recovery classes was with some mechanical engineers.
Okay.
Oh, no.
They love the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
for
God.
sure.
You know, so we're spitting out numbers and they're just like, oh my God, this, okay. Wow. Okay. Let's try this, you know? And so,
they're like calculating the pull force of a 4-to-1 at a direction of a 20-degree angle. And
they want it all. And I love that stuff. Jason's like, hey, CJ, this is yours. I'm like, yeah, got it.
Jason's like, where's the bourbon? I'm just going to
I'll
sit
be over
down.
here in the back right now.
But I think that's it. And, you know, we're based we do a lot of trainings at Hollister Hills down in Bay Area, California area. Jason's up in Minden, Nevada, as you all know. And so we're doing some trainings up in Nevada. We've done stuff down in Johnson Valley. But Bay Area, I got all the nerds.
Yeah.
Right. And I love it.
Yeah.
And we nerd out together, and a lot of them have bought fancy new 4x4s. They want to go learn how to use it. They haven't sold the lifestyle.
So how many different types of classes do you guys do? Now that we've been talking about this, I'm like, you guys could have obviously an off-road safety 201 class, like we mentioned at the very beginning, people coming out of the intro to beginner classes and need something more. There's winching, there's recovery, there's there's
trail
mechanical
leader.
sympathy.
How to be a trail leader.
Trail leader. There, you could teach, you know, what are the mechanics
Side by
of your
side.
vehicles, and when you bind up your drivetrain, what are you doing out on trail, kind of thing. Trail etiquette. There's so many different topics.
There is. And so
we have like 700 of them. A list.
Here we go.
You just go back through
Here's our
SnailTrail4x4.
menu.
I mean, it is a little bit of a menu, to be honest, and that, but that's the thing that's evolved is the trail leader program has evolved. It went from a 1-day thing to honestly to do it full turkey is like 3 days.
Wow.
You're relearning the beginner stuff so that you know how to teach folks, and you're making sure we're level set so we have the same skills moving forward. You're learning all the trail etiquette, trail leader mechanics, best practices that just keep moving. Don't have the rubber band effect with your row of 15 vehicles behind you. Keep the group small, split up, mid gunners, tail gunners, all the radio comms. But then we also teach some recovery and first responder type basic stuff because that's important as a trail leader too. So how do you manage a group when something goes wrong?
Yeah.
Who is your safety person who's not involved in the recovery, but watching the recovery?
Yeah.
The recovery person's too busy doing the recovery to be the safety person. So just some basics of how we structure and to really do that hands-on and practice spotting, practice leading. It's a 3-day workshop.
Wow.
Right. And I'm sure if you have a handful of people, you're doing something like you're leading this next section of the trail and then, and then it's your turn to start doing this. And when you do that for a few times, that takes longer and longer when you have multiple people like leading it. So no wonder, it's went from 1 to 3.
I mean, that's really important to us is to have that personal instructor ratio.
Yeah, exactly. And, one of the philosophies of Cal Poly that I went to college at was learning by doing. And so, Esprit de 4, when we did the class, we used to have 4 hours of lecture and then it went down to 3 and 2. And now it's like barely an hour and a half of lecture because we spend a lot of time out in the field.
Yeah.
And same thing, we try to get all that stuff vetted out in the Zoom meeting and stuff so that we are spending time out in the field and practicing because you talk about this stuff and you tell somebody how to do something and it's like, okay, now go do it. And, like guiding, and it's like, okay, be very clear, concise, hands over your head so the driver can see you. And then they start, waving their arms frantically. And it's like, no, so when they get that immediate input of like, oh, okay, yeah, you told me how to do this. But I started waving my hands and so it's like, no. Oh, and then once you correct them, they're like, all right, we need you a little bit more
it clicks.
Driver. It clicks. And being out there in the field, there's just, it's, most people are visual learners and it's just in getting that instant feedback out there. And it's something as simple as guiding, but it's key. And that's how, as a teacher, you got to figure out what's effective, what's going to work. Right. And the book smart stuff's one thing, but to actually be out in the field and watch something happen, why did this vehicle just get stuck on that rock? Well,
there's too many variables in off-roading, in my opinion. You can't, like, being book smart is one thing, but there's so many different variables going on around you that you can't just be like, oh, this is the scenario that we're going to play out in theory. Right. You got to be out in the field doing it. Like you said, seat time is everything. 100%. And that goes for being out on the trail. So
we take it for granted what we know.
Yeah.
And we do a kinetic recovery practice and we talk about it and to really go into the details of all the little nuts and bolts that are going to happen in 10 seconds in a kinetic pull. It can take a half hour to really talk about who's going to be in charge, who's your point person, how do you, and what happens after you pull them out of the ditch. People just keep going.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to stop.
You
stop with tension in the rope, not with tension in the rope. It goes on and on. And having somebody who has a kinetic rope in their bag, who's never pulled somebody out, they don't know what it feels like to be the puller or the pulley.
Yeah.
And so just by switching that and doing it a couple times, different speeds, they get a feel, oh, that jerked. Oh, that was soft. Oh, this is how this is working.
Yeah, I've never been the pulley.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't get stuck.
You don't go off-road much.
So, it's been really fun to learn with our students, learn how to help teach, improve our teaching. Just find out what they want to learn. And
you also get a lot more insight as to, what are the things that is misconstrued. I think a lot of people get a lot of their off-roading information for recoveries, safety, off-road, etc. from Instagram reels.
Oh, yeah.
And and YouTube videos. How you guys get a really good insight as to, everybody saw this video from Rodney Dahl about pulling on a ball hitch, right? A tow ball. You get to see that kind of stuff and that feedback from people, and you can be like, oh, that's a terrible video, you guys. What do you like? That's good in concept, but here's really what's going on, and here's why, and this is bad, and blah blah blah. And so you get to see a lot of that and have a lot of experience now, not just from what you guys know and from your experiences wheeling for 40 years, to now being able to see what everybody else is bringing to the table, what they've learned and what the learning habits are out there.
Yeah.
Example, one of our classes was got your hitch receiver, your toe hitch in the back.
Mm-hmm.
You also got where your safety chains hook up.
Yep.
Oh, can I pull from there? People put chains on there. I'm like, no.
Oh,
Well, why does it say that in the online manual for the tow operator's guide for the Rivian?
Oh,
to hook up a tow.
Well, to just
a recovery
to pull it onto the flat thing. I'm like, well, that's a static pull, not a lot of load.
Mm-hmm.
You're not, and I'm like,
you're not in a stuck situation.
So like, yes, these are again guides for certain use cases. Let's talk about what we're doing off road and talk about the physics of all. Now, to be fair, that chain loop is like double laminated thick. It's actually a really good spot.
Okay.
I would never recover a Rivian off of that spot, right? We teach not to do that. But just example of context and awareness, right? Because there's so much information out there. It's not bad information. It's just out of context.
Yeah. Nice. That's cool. When do you guys have upcoming classes? Like, what are you guys looking at for the year? I mean, you're only 2 years into this, a year and a half.
Like, when did it start? I mean, when do you classify as your official start, or how do you
25?
25?
2025.
And there was a lot of Zoom meetings and just hashing stuff out because we didn't want to just start to start. So, we wanted to have a nice, high touch experience right out of the gate.
Yeah.
And so we basically spent all of 2025 polishing and making it to where we got it to a point where we're like, okay, we're ready to teach class now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so then we hit the ground running end of last year, started classes and been pretty busy since.
I haven't really looked back.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
How
good.
many classes do you think you've done so far?
Yeah, ballpark.
Days or actual classes?
Like just
Because some
classes,
classes were 3-day classes.
Yeah, just classes.
I've done about 10 classes.
Yeah, there's been like 10 classes.
That's pretty
That's
good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're coming towards the end of March now. Getting into wheeling season a little bit earlier than I wanted to be this year, but here we are. So
we're working on some stuff. I'm actually going up to Oregon next week to scout out some locations to do a training in Oregon. We got a couple communities up there that are looking to do a group training.
Wow.
So trying to put a 2 to 3 day workshop together. So we will go to you or that area if there's enough critical mass. That's also where I'm taking a training. So that's kind of works out. We got some stuff May 14th and May 15th at Hollister. So we're doing a trail leader workshop / intermediate skills workshop.
Okay.
So I think spotting, just being more intentional on trail, learning a bit more vehicle dynamics. And then also how to lead groups.
Yeah.
And then we're doing a recovery class the next day, May 15th.
That 15th, the Friday.
When people join your class, are they driving your guys' rigs? Are they driving their rigs? Or is it, do you have to be present? Or do you have to have a vehicle to do it? Or how's that work?
As of right now, we'd like you to bring your own.
Yeah, bring your own vehicle.
There might be exceptions to that where, we want you to experience something different and try it out. But yeah, this is in your own private vehicle at this point. That's also for our insurance reasons.
Yeah. We don't supply vehicles.
Okay.
But and you got to learn your vehicle. I mean, that's one of the biggest things we teach right at the beginning is, know your limits, know your vehicle limits.
Sure.
And your limits are way more than the vehicle's limits, as we know, right? Your vehicle's super capable, and it's staying in your lane, so to speak, when you're first starting out. Crawl, walk, run.
Okay,
sure.
Keep crawling.
Yeah,
that's what you guys are still in the crawl mode. But no. So that's the key. So there's a lot of concepts and stuff there, and it's. I mean, a lot of this stuff, like if you guys took our class, you'd be like, okay. And then by the end of the day, be like, holy crap. It was eye-opening to me, the stuff that we were going through and the curriculum and stuff. And it's like, I've wheeled, I made it to the end of the Rubicon. Great success, and that's some people, they do it once and they're good. But, it's learning every day. And there's many different ways to skin a cat.
Is that how it goes?
My Jimmyisms. I should pull it up on my phone. That's a whole other podcast. I got a list of Jimmyisms. Yeah, I was at work last year on the fairway mower, and you'd say something during a podcast. I was listening. I go, add that to the Jimmyisms again. Swinging a dead cat in the yard or something. But yes, it's. Yeah.
I mean, on top of that, we offer different classes for different types of folk. And what I mean by that is I've got an online beginners workshop. So if you want to sign up on demand, just schedule a Zoom call with me. We do a 2-hour slide deck. Now, some people would be, what are you doing? That's awful. Well, that's not for that person. But some people really want to feel more comfortable before they ever hit the dirt.
Oh, 100%.
So it's for that person.
Mm-hmm.
We also do a class. I do a radio programming class. So people are by radios. If you want to nerd out and like level up, let's just do a 1-on-1
You
session.
should take that class, Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. How do you program a Starlink?
So we do a radio programming class. I do a mapping class. So I had somebody say, hey, I want to drive from here to here via dirt. How do I even go about that project?
Yeah.
Let's pull up Guy. Let's pull up Onyx.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at our different resources
Yeah.
and figure out how we might go about
Yep.
that. So we learned quickly early on that like, yeah, there's all the hands-on stuff. We want to do that, but there's also people just looking for a little bit of a booster shot of something that they want to level up on. And so we're offering digital classes as well as.
No, I think that's really cool because I think in a way you're doing so many different varieties and so many kind of different directions. It sounds like, we've obviously talked about all the off-road stuff, but now you're doing mapping classes and radio classes as well. I think it's good for you guys to open that up and do this wide variety. And then it's really going to help you kind of find your niche and what is great for you to focus on, or where do you want to move, or what do you really want to promote? I think that's a good thing for you guys to do.
As business owners, I mean, I took an approach to say, hey, I don't know where this is going to take us.
Yeah.
But I need to be open to see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to have too much of a predestined 5-year plan. I have a 6-month plan.
Yes.
Yep.
And let's see where the demand is.
Yep.
And we're working on some other projects too that aren't, consumer grade. It's more of the commercial or fleet vehicle side. And
Okay.
what would that look like?
Mhm.
And we want to do events from the very beginning. We want to do VIP trips.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what does that look like?
Mm-hmm.
And what are the muscles we
Nice.
need to make that happen?
Yeah.
We're also partnering with local off-road shops. Say, hey, I have customers that want to do customer rides. Maybe I want them to take your beginner class before I have them do my customer ride.
Yeah.
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 And say, hey, how can we all work together to build this off-road community that just has a better time on the trail?
Yeah.
Well,
That's
yeah.
great.
And they know that the vehicle that they're building is super capable, but the
Right.
person that's buying it
Has
Or-
no
or
idea.
doing the
been this
upgrades.
before, yeah.
Yeah.
is not. And yeah, there's a little danger issue there. So it's like, yeah, let's get that person familiar with what's going
Mhm.
on that vehicle. One of the other things I was going to say, it's interesting to me at my stage in life and 53 years on this earth is to be successful in business is, you have your strong points, your personal strong points, but you want to pair up or your business, you want to build your business around people that you're working with that are different. And, CJ's great with this, propeller hat stuff, the computer stuff and all that stuff. That's not my strong point.
Mm-hmm.
My strong point is my experience being out off-roading and pushing the limits and doing, mechanical and all this stuff,
But
but
being extroverted.
and extroverted. And I never used to be early on in my childhood. I was not an extrovert. I was an introvert. So I don't know what happened. I think it was beer and whiskey and wine and all that stuff. But anyways, but it's good because like when I had the landscape business, we had 3 people involved there, and we had the person behind the computer that was doing all the finances, and that they did great at that. We had the pie in the sky idea person that's like, yeah, we can do this. And then I was the guy that had to figure out how to do that.
Gotcha. The
and
implementer.
it worked. Yeah, it worked well. So it's good. And so, when CJ and I were talking about this and, it's like, I take a step back and go, okay, well, can you succeed at this? It's like, yeah, well, you can succeed at anything. You put your mind to it, but
Mhm.
it's like having the components there and realizing that, because like, if everybody's on the same page, it's not going to go well typically. So it's been fun, learning from CJ. I think CJ's learned like 1 or 2 things from me. So it's,
A lot of
just trying, but it's
More
cool to,
things not to do. Right?
yeah, it's,
Be nice.
exactly. I wouldn't do that. But no, it's cool, to see, it evolve, and it comes
Mhm.
back to passion. We
Mhm.
talk about
Yeah.
it a lot on our podcast and the passion. And if you got the passion, you'll figure it out and make it happen, but that leap of faith is a little scary and stuff. And,
Mhm.
financially, my last few years have been pretty frightening on the books. If you look at the books, but
I can relate to that.
yeah, I mean,
Here, here.
yeah, exactly. But it's been some of my best years of my life too. It's without the stress and the BS of chasing that dollar every day. So, anyways, yeah, it's.
Are your classes pretty localized to Northern California, or like you said, you're going up to Oregon here soon?
Yeah,
will you go pretty much anywhere if I guess the price is right, quote unquote. But
the price is right, absolutely. I mean, I think I'm excited to wheel more and more of the country. I'm a Rocky Mountain and West kind of guy. I haven't had the chance to go back east as much. I'm part of the Rivian Clubs of America as a larger community, and so I think there's opportunity to possibly go out and do Rivian specific trainings for that community around. But that's going to be, I'll fly in and bring some basic stuff. If we tow our whole package somewhere, that's different.
It's a lot.
It's a business, right? It's a business. And, we were committed from day one that, we're not a charity, we want to help out and we'll do stuff and all that. But, it's a business and it's got to make sense, got to make financial sense. And, but with that and doing it right, the insurance is ungodly expensive, all this stuff to do it right. And that's what we committed to. So our price reflects that, but the people that have experienced our class are like worth every penny.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That was validating.
That's cool.
We had a session down in Joshua Tree, did a little morning session, classroom training for an hour and a half. Someone walked out of that and said, that was worth it. That was worth the price right there. But we haven't even hit the train yet. We got a lot more going on. Jason and I shared it, but you wanted high touch, just that. We want to surprise and delight. We want you to walk away and have something that you weren't quite expecting in a positive experience. So that might be charcuterie at the end of the trail, or a whiskey tasting around the campfire if it's a multi-day event, or just a piece of knowledge that you never even would have thought of.
Right.
And I think that's what we're really anchoring on, is we want you to walk away really, really happy.
Yeah.
And that it was worth it.
Okay.
And we spend thousands of dollars on a rooftop tent or a rack or some other bolt-on thing to your car. You can't drop a little bit of money to learn some knowledge so you don't roll your car over.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you make it back home afterwards, really. Yeah.
To go experience all those thousands of dollars that you had. And so you can come home and go out and do it again.
Yeah. Drive with skill, explore with confidence. That's our motto.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Is that really your motto? Or did you just make that up?
No, it really is.
Okay.
I'm not that smart.
It's written down right there.
Is it? Okay, there you go. Yeah, no, I remember that. That was one of the things we worked on.
I sent him the talking notes.
No, yeah, it's cool. I'm excited to see where this thing goes. So far, so good. And we've done some fun stuff, and I know there's some new stuff we're going to be doing here in the future that's going to be exciting. So
a lot more fun stuff to come.
I really like that. I don't want to say you two specifically are involved, but I know you two very well. And I know how your brains operate. I know the experience you come from. And I know what you want to really give back to the industry and help with the industry and grow that knowledge base in the community, right? So I'm really excited to see where this goes for you guys, because I think there's a lot of different avenues it could go. I think you'll need to grow and scale a lot more to really hit all of them. But I think it's going to be really fun to watch and see, kind of like what we talked about, where this is going to niche down to really find where that demand is, what people really want to see. Because you guys are a wealth of knowledge, and it can go a lot of different ways. And I think that over the next year or so, we'll really start figuring out where it's all going to be at to be able to start that growth wave to then spread out to really impact your full knowledge on everybody in the industry. So
yeah, and it's the relationships, right? And having been around for a few years, and the people I've got to meet, and especially through the podcast, but
SnailTrail4x4.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That was number one on his list.
See if I can find a button to match that. Okay, it hasn't. It's like, I'm like, okay, going through my mind Rolodex and like, who could help us with this? And, I'm like, oh, I'm going to call this individual. And they're like overwhelmingly, yes, I want to help. And I want to make, and it's pretty cool. That's
the one thing I love about the off-road industry. Pretty much everybody within the industry is all very much like, no, the rising tide raises all ships. Yeah. Let's make the industry better.
Yeah.
And I think anybody who gets approached in the industry with an opportunity to better the industry, everybody's on board with it. It's been really cool.
I've spoken with other instructors and we're not competing.
Yeah.
they're just looking for another gig.
Yeah. Oh, really?
You know? Like, hey, I got to train up here. I'm from here. Hey, come up. We're going to build a network of people that we can rely on and use.
That's cool.
That's just kind of how it has to work.
And it is. And it's like, we're trying not to step on anybody's toes or anything, be very respectful. And it's cool because it comes back and, we're like, I asked this individual, would you mind helping out? And they're like, yeah, you don't even have to pay me. And I'm like, no, this is a business. We're paying you, but it's cool. It's really cool. And as you know, the need for knowledge is out there. Yep. And, I touched on it briefly, the side-by-side side of things. And I got involved with that when I moved to, Northern Nevada and bought a side-by-side. And I got in this thing and, I got a lot of off-road experience and I'm like, holy hell, this thing can freaking rip. Mm-hmm. And you can get over the handlebars in a hurry. Right. Yeah. And you see all these accident stuff. So, that's going to be another thing that we're offering is side-by-side training. And, unfortunately, probably the people that really need it most won't take the class, but the ones who do are going to be better prepared and know what that vehicle's capable of off-road. I wonder,
you mentioned side-by-side trainings because they have those in states like Utah, right? Did Oregon implement one too? Did I hear, or was it? I forget.
Some license or something that you
want. Utah had an online off-road training.
Yes.
Because we got our off-road license for Utah when we went to Trail Hero, know.
So now California is going to be implementing an off-road training very similar to what Utah did. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if there's a way if there's an opportunity there for you guys to get in on some of that and offers class specifically for getting people ready for that. I don't know.
I mean, that's good. Yeah, they're doing it with the boater training now, which is good. I mean, you don't know what you don't know. And there's a lot of people that go out and buy $100,000 wake ski boat and freaking don't know anything about boating. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's the same thing. Gotta have some knowledge. So it's a start, but it more than an online class, it needs to be out there showing people what happens, and how quickly it can go south.
What about other opportunities? So, we covered, you're mainly right now you're doing classes around NorCal. That's just because that's where you're located. You're willing to go to other places, but like if people wanted to reach out about their local group, how would they do that? Are you open to it? What would happen? Do you
take us through the process?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, Tyler. And we actually have a group in our Esprit de Four club that's part of another group. It's a Bronco only group. We're like, man, we got this great group of people on Facebook. We go out wheeling all the time. I'd love to do something just with the Bronco club.
Okay.
Not a problem. We do a private group session. So we'll have public sessions up on our scheduler and a calendar on the website, www.snvora
or Sierra Nevada Off-Road Association
Academy.com. But we also can do private classes where we'll work with you a couple months out, schedule something, and we'll give you a private link to sign up, private payment, even a discount code, etc. Never shows up on the website, so it's only the people that you want to show up to that group. So that's a nice thing to offer. Yeah. We're working with some other instructors to do women's only classes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Which would be really cool. And we have some friends that participate in Rebel Rally, and they were asking for certain skills and certain trainings, and maybe not Rebel specific, but rally type training
skills that will help in the Rebel kind of thing. Exactly. But they're also applicable in a lot of places.
100%. But what does it look like to have, certain demographics of people that maybe don't feel as comfortable in traditional public training sessions?
Okay.
Offer classes that they want to attend.
Nice.
I think the personal touch.
The personal touch, and that's the key. And it's, I see it. I mean, people are nervous at the beginning of the day, and I try to ease their calm them down and like, hey, this day's for you.
Yeah.
We're going to have fun. We're going to learn a lot of stuff. We're going to get dirty.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're going to be like, heck yeah, I'm ready to do the next step,
More confident.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yep. Explore with confidence. Good job, Jimmy.
Yes. I like it.
No, reach out to us. It's CJ@snvora.com.
Jason at snvora.com.
Okay.
Sierra Nevada Off-Road Academy on Instagram and the World Wide Web. Did you know that's what WWW stands for, Jimmy?
Yes, I did.
Right. Yep. Cool. So
just learned it yesterday.
Did you? Okay. Yeah.
Sounds like you guys are open for opportunities. You definitely have your planned classes, your planned courses that are planned throughout the year that you've got set up at venues already, but you're also open to other people calling in and saying, hey, I need a custom thing for my group.
Yeah. The best thing is we did a private training for an off-road shop.
Oh, cool.
They said, we want to level up our staff. We want to see what you're up to. We want to start hosting runs. What does it look like to do that? Okay, nice. Let's put that together. We did, I think we're doing a Father's Day special, father and son spotting classes.
That's cool.
That's a fun way to.
Can I bring a 2-year-old?
Yeah. And I've been thinking bachelor parties and bachelorette parties and other things. We're like, hey, if you have a group of 4 people, that's kind of the minimum to really get us going to show up, especially at Hollister. It's an easy trip down. That works. And so I think, if you have something you want to dream up, talk to us.
Yeah. If you don't, we have some dates on the website and everything of classes that we're offering, but you're like, oh, I can't make that date, or I want to do an advanced recovery class, in May. Call us up. We are totally flexible. This is our day job.
Yeah.
This is not a side gig. This is not a side hustle. This is not, we're just kind of do it when we feel like
Let me see if I can pencil it in the calendar.
Exactly.
Kind of thing,
yeah. This is our day job.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool.
And Jason and I are both open to one-on-ones.
Yeah.
So if you're up, if you Tahoe, Minden area, you want to go out, he'll do a one-on-one coaching session with you. I do the same. And we've had a pretty good success at that. And people will take a day off work, or they have a wellness day or something else, and we'll do it on a weekday down to the park.
There you go.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to go wheeling during the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying that.
Yeah.
Wow, where is everybody?
We got this whole place 2-on-2 class at the Rubicon on a Wednesday.
Absolutely.
I think we're there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm waiting for Barrett Lake to open up. When's that going to open?
I think it's going to be really early this year. May. I'm guessing May.
I'm hoping. Man. Yeah, that's the only caveat of my poor ski season, that wheeling season starts earlier this year, which means I need to get working on my junk. Yeah.
Well, cool. Thank you so much, guys, for coming down. I know you both came. We're kind of in the center here in Sacramento from both of you guys.
How long did it take you to drive up?
2 hours.
Yeah, it was 2 hours for me.
Yeah, I didn't drive. The car drove itself.
Oh, well, that's true. Yeah. You got that thing.
He was working on prepping for the podcast while his car was driving.
That's true.
So that's contacting his assistants.
Yeah. I was sadly listening to the Snail Trail podcast on the way down. So
I was too. I couldn't get enough of these guys.
I was caught up last summer, but I am like episodes behind. But I've missed episodes, I should say.
Yeah.
But I'm
they're not all gold nuggets. You're good.
But it's good stuff, and I commend you guys on 690 freaking episodes or whatever you're on now.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Because obviously I do it. And Chris and I, it's hard, especially that we're apart, to do it, and timing. And Chris's job is very demanding, and getting even more demanding this summer. So yeah, it's tough. And for you guys to crank out 2 episodes a week, 3. I mean, you got your call-in one too.
Yep,
your callers. So yeah, whatever. Good luck. Players.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good stuff. Well, and happy to be here.
Hey, congratulations on Wheeling Wine and Whiskey, because I think in April you guys are 7 years.
Are we? Is it April or? Yeah, I guess you're right.
We're May.
You're right.
You're
right.
And you were a matter of.
You guys were
like
podcasting
a week ahead of us
prior to us on that other podcast. The what was that called? The
High Sierra 4x4.
High Sierra 4x4 podcast.
Yeah.
You still talk to Greg and those boys?
We keep in touch.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's wild. I can't believe it. And it's fun. I mean, it's like at KOH this year, there's a funny story. I was walking through Hammertown talking to somebody, and somebody came up to me and go, Are you Jason from the Wheeling Wine Whiskey podcast? And they recognize the voice, and it's crazy. It still blows me away, and it's a lot of fun. And, we said we keep doing it while we're having fun. And so here we are 6 years later, still going and cranking out the episodes. So yeah.
Yeah, you're either I don't remember your guys' exact date. I remember ours, but I mean you were a matter of days. Well, I
guess I can look on
before us.
Yeah.
It was either very extremely early May.
I remember early April now that you say that. That's interesting. But yeah, it's just, all off-roading. This is what we do. This has been my life, and enjoying it. So,
well, and I was saving this knowledge for my final words, but I'll say it now, and because it ties into what you guys are doing with the Sierra Nevada Off-Road Academy, excuse me.
Yeah, good.
And Wheeling Wine and Whiskey. And what we're here for too is it's just knowledge, right?
Yeah.
This is, we're just sharing knowledge one way or another. We're sharing ways that you guys can be smarter out on the trail, be smarter within the community, tread lightly, do whatever it needs to get done to like keep our sport a sport and not have us lose it one way or another.
Right.
And keeping people alive or keeping smarter decisions out on the trail. You know, what you guys are doing is you're educating people. What we're trying to do, you know, is we're all, and Wheeling Wine and Whiskey, it's education
too.
And it's just being smarter, getting educated and learning is very important in life, and everything you do, along with, you know, putting that into the off-road context, you know, it just helps in every situation.
Yeah. Growing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. I can still work the soundboard. I like it. Apple Podcast is not going past I go all the way up to 65. So I don't, or down to 65. It's not showing all episodes, but yeah, whatever it is, April something. But yeah, good stuff. Enjoy it. You guys keep doing what you're doing. And
you too, guys.
Buy more Fords and Jeeps, and keep it going. And Rivians.
So if people wanted to reach out, get a hold of you guys, those are the best ways. Email, Instagram right now. Let's see what you guys are up to. Instagram, website as well.
Website, Sierra Nevada Off-Road Academy. It's been good. We've got some... We've been working with Justin at Factor 55 and getting that equipment. So that's been really good, and testing that stuff. And there's some other, you know, companies out there that are great. So we're building these relationships. I actually bought my first pair of, you know, traction boards, which begrudgingly, but got Action Tracks, traction boards because they're flexible. And I saw them work with Nick Bailey at Avalanche Technical firsthand, you know, and again, that scene.
The only time I've ever seen traction boards working is with Nick.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. He knows exactly how to set them up, where to place them. The placement is everything on them, how to operate the vehicle to use them properly. And he's got it down, and he's the only person I've ever seen that's been effective with traction boards. I'm like, that worked really damn well. I've never seen anybody.
Exactly. So that's exactly where I had my aha moment and go, oh, they actually do frickin' work in these situations, you know, but on the rocks and the Rubicon are not a place for traction boards. So
I got it. You're still scrolling, but
I am.
You know, my Android device goes back to your teaser episode 0 came out on April 19th.
Oh shit. Yeah, there you go. Middle of April.
Yeah. And then your actual first episode, the introducing ourselves, was May 7th.
God, I gotta listen to that. It was good. Do you ever go back and listen to your old episodes
No,
and just laugh?
No.
I have a hard time listening to the current ones. Move on and forget.
It is. It's crazy. I can't believe. 6 years. That was back in good old 2020, our COVID era. So our podcast, and that's what I tell a lot of people. It got us through COVID. It got through by passing of my father. You know, just life events, right? It's like something to look forward to every week. You guys do this every Tuesday, and make a day out of it, and that's cool. It's just, you got to have those things to look forward to, and going off-roading, whatever it is. But anyways, let's Chris has just came in the door and it says wrap it up, so he's good at doing that. But thank you guys for having us, and appreciate the Four Roses single barrel.
No problem.
It's way above any whiskey I thought I'd be drinking here. I see Fireball over in the corner, so thanks for having
Fireball.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
God.
Well, thank you guys for coming down, making the trip down to do this, teach everybody a little bit about Sierra Nevada Off-Road Academy, what you guys are doing, what it's up to, kind of what you're looking to do with the company, what people, if they have questions or they're looking to get some training, what they could be looking forward to with that personal touch. I think that's a really cool way to take the business. So we're definitely looking to get you guys back on and maybe talk about some of those fun little topics.
There's some cool stuff.
There's a lot of really good informational topics that we can talk about. So we'll have you guys back down to hang out in the studio some more, have some more whiskey, and have some fun topics and conversation education for everybody.
Sounds great. When's the dad joke drop?
At the very end, after everything's closed up.
Okay.
Did you have one now?
No, I was looking forward to it. I see the box over there.
Yeah. That's right.
All right.
Well, awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Final words to wrap everything up, Jimmy. Since I always put him on the spot like this.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Well, I had to come up with another one because I used mine earlier.
Oh, okay.
But I actually seriously want to take your trail lead course. It's that
trail lead.
Yeah. I think that would be something great for me. I've been wheeling, for super long time, and I think I am the shittiest spotter out there. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I roll Tyler, whatever. But it's just there's levels that I just need to learn, and I think being in doing what I do, and we actually somewhat host these outings that we do. I think it just is a level up that I need to learn as well. So. That's I'll have to look at your guys' website and find out a good thing that'll work for me and plug myself in.
Right on.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Jason, final words for everybody out there?
Drive with skill, explore with confidence, and Toyota suck.
I was waiting for it.
You knew it was coming.
CJ, final words for everyone.
I'll just say, take that leap, follow your passion. You can't go wrong.
Yep. I like it. And with that, my friends, keep growling.
Anybody have any jokes?
Well, I was just listening to the Dirt Nerds or whatever they're called down there. And I was walking up to the kitchen. They pulled me into their podcast. And when I left, I told them the Coors Light joke. And so that was on their podcast that they aired.
Okay. Yeah.
What's the Coors Light joke?
You know what Coors Light and having sex in a canoe have in common?
I feel like I've heard this.
They're both fucking close to water.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Good.
Do you know what Arnold Schwarzenegger calls a colonoscopy?
Colonoscopy? I don't know.
Cameron Diaz.
What he calls a colonoscopy? I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Cameron Diaz.
Well, that's all about
Cameron Diaz.
Oh, camera in the ass.
I was thinking, yeah.